Shalom, Grand Rising, Osio, Halito. Welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. I am your brother Danya Allah. All praises to the Most High. It is late night for me, especially. It's 10:10. It's literally 10:10 right now, May 15th, and it is late for me. I'm usually in bed by 7, so this is like late for me. Okay, so I am a little tired. I may look tired because I am tired, and yeah, but I wanted to get this video done. I wanted to do it because it's been on my mind for like the past day. I'm like, look, I need to get this shit done. But anyways, you may see and hear my little guy because he is hanging out with me. He's actually upstairs right now, but he may make his way down here and come and, do his little thing, say hi, interrupt the video, do what kids do. But anyways, I wanted to make this video, and this video is about the alien disclosure, right? We know that in exactly a month from now, I believe it's a month from now, I believe it's May 15th, is when the movie Disclosure Date, is it Disclosure Day or Disclosure Date? I can't remember, but that movie will be releasing on June 15th, 2026. So exactly a month from now. And yeah, your boy, I am definitely going to check that movie out. My wife, our friend, and I, we're going to go and watch that movie. And I will explain a little bit more why in this video, why I am definitely going to watch that movie. And excuse me, I have a cold that I'm trying to get over. So every now and then you're going to hear me sniff. Hopefully not a whole lot, And then also I'm dehydrated too, so you will see me over here sipping on my drink. So yeah, so anyways, yeah, alien disclosure, that is what this video is about. And I'm telling you guys, do not fall for it. These devils, they are working overtime. Hell, fuck overtime, they are working double time to try to get you guys to fall for this. And I'm telling you, it's a huge setup. I see it a mile away, but I know that there are some people out there who just don't see it coming, and they believe everything they see on the internet. They even believe some of these content creators. And I can tell you this, there's a lot of these content creators that are bought and paid for. If you don't believe me, there's a guy called Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast. You think that he came out of nowhere, ragged to riches? No, he was a whole fucking plant. It is a whole plant. Okay. So yeah, you can't even trust some of these social media people out here. You gotta be careful. But yeah, man, I truly believe that this whole thing is a hijack. This whole alien thing, this whole alien disclosure. We know that Trump is like rolling out the information little by little, just like with the Epstein files and all this shit. And it's been a long buildup to this point, because we know that for the past, I want to say like a year or two, they've been talking about aliens. The government finally admits that there are aliens, and and it's just like, what is the purpose? Because honestly, I don't trust anything that these fools put out on television. I don't trust nothing, because whatever they put out on TV, they want you to see, and they want you to see for a purpose, for a reason, more than likely trying to indoctrinate you. And a lot of people believe this shit. A lot of people fall for what they see on TV. A lot of people trust their government. I don't trust any government at all. All of them are puppets. They're all bought and paid for. People or entities are pulling strings behind the scenes, and people believe it. They believe the puppets, right? This is why your leaders, your politicians, they're not doing anything that benefits their citizens at all. They may throw out little trinkets here and there to make you think that they care about you, but they don't give a damn about you. I'm just hoping all the people who voted Trump sees this, and understand that Trump does not care about you, which is why he has not done anything for you. Same thing with Biden. I don't believe in left, right. I don't believe in that bullshit, because I know that they're two different wings of the same bird. They're working towards the same goal, which is making that bird fly. Okay, so don't fall for it. Don't get caught up in that shit, guys. It's everything is staged. Everything is a game to these people. Everything is controlled. Everything. There's no revolutionaries out here. Like, no, not at all. People thought that Trump was going to be this rebel that was going to save America. Not at all. Sorry, my phone went off loud as hell. Let's see. Somebody messaged me. Sorry, let me mute this, because I don't want that to interrupt. But yeah, man. Yeah. I really want people to wake up to our reality, that there's no human that's in a government office that's going to save you. They're all working towards the same goal, but their mission along the way is to spread confusion and division. That's what they want, okay? That is what they want. So you guys, you'll have to wake up to it. You have to wake up to it. And this right here is just furthering their agenda, what they're trying to push with this whole alien disclosure, right? And when they do stuff like this, you have to ask yourself, why are they doing this? Like, why are they sharing this information with us all of a sudden? Y'all could have shared this information with us 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, but y'all only decide to do it now. Why? See, those are the questions that you should be asking. So anyways, let's get into these videos. Let's go. You probably hear my son loud. He is loud.
The DS is very, very adamantly fighting to prevent you from learning about extraterrestrials. That's the last thing they want you to know about.
For people who don't know what the DS, what he's referring to is the deep state. Okay, so every time he says that, he's talking about the deep state. The deep state consists of your government officials, your politicians, all your politicians and government officials, your billionaires, the people behind your billionaires that are pulling the strings, your religious leaders, so on and so forth, right? So that's who he's referring to as the deep state. I'm gonna run it back for you guys real quick.
The DS is very, very adamantly fighting to prevent you from learning about extraterrestrials. That's the last thing they want you to know about. They want you to be afraid. They want you to see them as gods, to see them as authority figures. The last thing they want is for you to understand there's a higher power that answers Christianity, answers Islam, answers Buddhism, answers Hinduism. The Bible has ET contact. The Quran has ET contact. Buddhist scriptures have multiple examples of ET contact. So does the Hebrew scriptures. I mean, it's everywhere. And so it's very important to understand that the most jealously guarded secrets by the DS are the forbidden technologies. This is the most dangerous thing to talk about. They will threaten you the most. They will attack you the most. They will take intelligence assets and put them on you.
Now, for people who don't know, this is David Wilcock. He was one of the scientists from the television show that came out, I think, like 2000, maybe 2007, 2008, called Ancient Aliens. Honestly, that show was a whole hijack within itself. I mean, honestly, a whole freaking hijack. And, honestly, I feel like that show was kind of like predictive programming, just like a lot of these movies, right? A lot of these movies and television shows that we have seen in the past. I believe that Ancient Aliens was created to warm us up to this idea that there are aliens here, and that maybe they're not bad guys, and that our government is hiding these aliens and these encounters from us. And it's in our history, it's written in our religions, it's in our books and so on and so forth, but your government is hiding it from you. Us at Ancient Aliens, we're good guys. Like, if you don't get that bullshit out of my face, man, seriously, if you don't get that bullshit out of my face, because it's like, dog, I see the play from a mile away. They're trying to warm us up to this idea. And best believe these guys, they do not play checkers, they play chess, and they play that shit like 20 years, 30 years in advance. They've been planning this shit out for a long time. They allowed that show Ancient Aliens to come out so they can warm you up to it. Best believe everything that they show on TV and the media, they want you to see. And what do I mean? The deep state, the same people that he's referring to that don't want you to see this and to know about these extraterrestrials and so on and so forth. Look, if you don't see the play that he's making right now, essentially what he is saying is that the deep state does not want you to know about these aliens. Why? Because the deep state wants you to focus on the deep state. The deep state wants you to treat the deep state like gods and not focus on these aliens. Because if you find out about these aliens and you see the technology that they have, you won't fear them anymore, because you'll see them as gods, because they will answer Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, all that. Like, come on. Just like the New World Order, what is he doing? He's trying to put all these religions under one umbrella, right? Saying that these aliens can answer all of that, as if the aliens are the fucking answer, right? Because we've seen that in television shows and movies before, that the aliens are really the good guys and that they have the answer. They're the only hope for humanity. Tell y'all, predicted programming. That's exactly what this is. So, anyways, this guy, he allegedly died, and I don't even know if he's dead. And the reason why I say that is because, first of all, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he looked very AI. Go and look at the original video. I would blow this up so you guys can see it, but that'd be a little too much work. But go and look at this original video of David Wilcox talking about, you know, the aliens, right? It doesn't look real. I mean, it looks straight up AI. Look, I'm just gonna blow it up for you guys just to show you guys what I'm talking about. Look at this guy's face. Tell me that this does not look AI. Like, he looks completely AI. Like, look at that, man. So anyways, I don't think that this dude is dead. I honestly don't think he's dead. And the reason why I say that is because I think that they're using his death to give validity on what he's talking about. Because it's like, well, why would they kill, if he was lying, if he ain't telling the truth, why would they kill him? Because, you know, people think like that. People think in that capacity, and they don't think outside the box. People usually just stop at a certain, they get to a certain door and they just stop. Like, you know, I'm not gonna pass that door. No, I always think outside the box, and I don't say that to boost myself up or to, you know, sound prideful, but I always think outside the box. And I think like this: if they're showing us this shit, why are they showing us this? Why are they showing us this stuff? Why are they disclosing this stuff now? If the US government knew about aliens for, you know, close to 100 years, right? Why are they disclosing this stuff right now? Why didn't they share this with us 20, 30 years ago? Why right now? And why all this information and all this leak information on aliens, all these scientists going missing and ending up dead and so on and so forth? Why now? I don't believe this guy is dead. If he's even real, even if he's even a real person, right? I don't believe he's dead. But they're gonna make it seem like he's dead. They're gonna make it seem like scientists are missing to give validity to what they were putting out. Just like the next person I'm gonna show you, a scientist that end up going missing. And I'm gonna pull it up real quick for y'all. This is another video, right? Let me put my headphones on real quick. Sorry, y'all can't even hear her.
So the ultra-terrestrials, I'll just tell you. The ultra-terrestrials, I think, have you heard of the P-52s and the P-47s? Do you know what that is? They're us from the future. They're from here. They are you. They are me. They're from here, from the future.
I don't know about her, but they definitely ain't me. I'm not no damn pale skin, little skinny lip, bald head alien. That's not me. But yeah, see, this is what they're trying to sell us. They're trying to get us to trust these damn things. They're trying to get us to trust these damn things because not only are these things, you know, if they were to reveal themselves to the public, not only will we see their technology and look at them and revere them in such a way, but we will also trust them because they're not aliens from a distant planet. They're actually you. They're you. They're not monsters. They're not demons. They're not descendants from the fallen. They're not hybrid creatures. They're not malevolent. They're you. I see that shit in my way. I don't buy it at all. Not at all.
P47 is present plus 47,000 years. P52 is present plus 52,000 years. And basically there's a calamity, right? So there's like a apocalypse scenario in the near future. It wipes out most of like everything, man. And there's the ones that go underground and survive, right? And then there's the ones that somehow stay on the surface and miraculously don't die. I was homeschooled.
Okay, that's all we're gonna listen to because she goes into a bunch of other crap that I don't care about. But the point of her video is to lull you guys in, to fall for it. Because when we see these creatures, because I do believe in the near future, we're definitely gonna see these things. But when we see them, we're naturally we're gonna be afraid. We're gonna be like, what the hell is what are those? Oh my God, those are monsters, those are demons. But no, what they're doing, they're trying to warm us up to this idea that they're not bad guys. So when they do reveal themselves, we'll trust them. That's what they're doing. And allegedly, this woman is another scientist that went missing. Why? To give credibility to her story? Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to pause real quick. So anyways, you know, they're trying to warm us up to this idea that these aliens are really us. So don't be afraid. And it's funny because it's working. I mean, they got people believing this shit. They actually got people believing that these aliens are our friends. And I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you this video right here.
So this is probably some of the elites from the future. Some of the scientists that went missing or that was unalive, some of them thought that aliens are from the future. They're saying they got like this from being underground for so many years. They say if you're underground for too long, you can develop a bald head, lose all your hair, your eyes can blow up, and you might look like this. So let's say this is actually what's happening. Why are they here now? Why are they here in 2026? Does this catastrophic event happen very soon or something? Is that why they're back? Trying to tell us or trying to stop it? And if the catastrophic event is about to happen, is it what's going on in the Middle East right now? Is it going to be tied to World War III? Is that why so many elites, so many hired people that has the money got the bunkers? Why they been prepping for something? Is this what it is? Are those going to be the ones that's the aliens eventually? Some of the people that have babies on the ground? Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments. This shit.
It's cap. That's how I feel about it. It's complete cap. And this guy, he's a sucker, man. He is a sucker. There's a lot of people out there who actually believe this crap. And like I said, you know, they trust these scientists as if a lot of these scientists aren't Freemasons. A lot of these scientists are fucking Freemasons. A lot of the people who work for NASA, Freemasons. A lot of people who don't work for NASA are Freemasons. And you trust them? You trust them. You think that they're not actors. They're not bought and paid for. Like, we got to remember, the people who work for NASA, they're scientists too. But they're also actors. They go up there on the fucking space shuttle and the space station and pretend to be floating in 0 G, right? Pretending to be floating in outer space. That takes acting skills, right? Yeah, poor guy, man. I mean, damn, he really fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Can't even speak right now. Excuse me. He fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. And sorry, I am congested, so it is very hard. Damn, there's a fucking gnat flying around. Very hard for me to speak right now because I got this cold, man. Got this cold. So, anyways, last video right here. Let's check this out.
A large number of pastors that had been invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States government and others share with them a concern that they had. But he said, Perry, what they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft that some of the people who were in the meeting were telling us as pastors. You need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released. And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet. Very strange reptilian-looking creatures.
Anyways, that's the end right there. I accidentally paused the video right at the end. Anyways, so yeah, as we see, they're all in on it. They're all in on it. He said that a government official pulled him and several other, I'm guessing, huge pastors, because he's a huge pastor himself, right? Brought him and several others to a cabin in Tennessee. That's where it was, by the way. And disclosed this information to them, to prepare them, to tell them to prepare their flocks for what's about to happen. So something's going to happen soon. I honestly believe that pretty soon we're going to see them amongst us. And this is why they're warming us up to the idea, you know, just like the show that came out in the 1990s or late 80s called Alienation, where there was a big mothership that came to Earth filled with aliens. And they came here to Earth because they were seeking refuge. And when they came here, of course, people were stunned, but then we accepted them as our friends. And this is what I'm talking about, like the predictive programming. Like, they've been building us up to this. They've been warming us up to this for decades, literal decades, right? But yeah, they're trying to they're trying to warm us up to these things to get us to accept them. And best believe there's going to be a lot of people that's going to accept them, that's going to see them as healers, that are going to see them as miracle workers, maybe even gods, right? I believe it's going to happen soon. But yeah, you know, what's his name? Matthew Perry? No. What's his name? I can't remember this damn pastor's name, but he's a pretty big one. And like I said, you know, they got several of them together to disclose this information to them to get their flocks ready. So I just wonder what they told them to do, right? And you know, he mentioned that we're going to be seeing reptilians, and I just think that's so ironic, because you know, that's one of the creatures that we humans have been seeing for a long time. And I think that, you know, pretty soon we're going to see these things reveal themselves. In another clip, this very same pastor says that Steven Spielberg he was told by the government official that Steven Spielberg movie Disclosure Date was inspired by information that he got from government officials about these aliens, right? So they're all in on it, man. They're all in on it. And I can't wait to see that movie just to see what angle is going to put, because we know that according to the trailers, it shows that there has been aliens living amongst us this entire time. So it just makes me wonder, are we going to find out that some of our politicians were these aliens living alongside us this entire time? Because I did see an article also saying that from scientists or government officials saying that aliens have been living with us for some time now, right? See, what I think is going on is that these reptilians, they're here. They've always been here. They have always been here. Like, I totally believe that there has always been others here. There has always been others. And now this is their time to get out of their human suits and fully reveal themselves. And they're going to be like, look, see, we've been here with you guys the entire time. We were doctors. We were this and that. We healed you guys. We treated you guys just like us. We're not monsters. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it at all, because these guys, they are monsters. They eat children. They drink their adrenochrome. You know, they do all these vile, despicable stuff. And let me tell you, so story time. When I was a teenager, I was on a fishing trip with my uncle, and me and my uncle, we were just talking, right? And we were on his boat just fishing, and my uncle was behind me, and I told him a story that my grandmother told us, her grandchildren, all the time, right? Because she would tell us all these stories. I just thought they were stories, but it turns out that my grandmother knew way more than we ever gave her credit for. And one of the stories that she told us was how my uncle and my mother encountered a reptilian when they were young. And mind you, this happened in the 1970s, early 1970s, so way before V, at least 10 years before V came out. So when I told my uncle this, I was like, hey, grandma told me that you saw a lizard man, because that's what my grandmother used to call it, the lizard man. When I said it to my uncle literally, as I was turning around saying that to him, he was like, he was really startled. He was like, who told you that? That's literally what he said to me. He was like, who told you that? I mean, so when he did that, I knew it was real, because at first I thought it was cap. I was a teenager. I was thinking my grandmother was just telling us some bullshit stories, right? But when he did that, oh, I knew it was real. Then after, when I got home that day, I went and told my mom. I went and asked my mom, like, hey, did this really happen? She was like, yep, really happened. Right? So essentially with the story, how it goes is that this was back, I want to say in like 1973, because I think my mom was probably about 5 years old at the time. She was very young. And her brother was like about 13. I want to say about 12 or 13 years old. So in our backyard, in my grandparents' backyard, it sits on a mound. Like, their house sits on this big ass mound, and I could share that story another time, right? But in their backyard, it was pretty long. I want to say their backyard was probably about like 70 feet by 300 feet long, and they had these big old giant pine trees in their backyard. So one day, my mom and my uncle are just in the backyard playing, doing whatever, right? And then my uncle turns around and he sees my mom just fixated on something in the tree. And he's like, hey, he's trying to get her attention. She's just not budging at all. So he walks over to her and like he's like pushing her to try to break her out of this trance that she's in. And he can't do it. So then he just looks towards where she's looking at, like, what the hell is she looking at? So he looks up, and up in the tree, he sees what he thought originally was a man. But then when he, upon further inspection, he looked and he sees green skin, and he sees big eyes. And from the way my uncle described his eyes, he said that the eyes were very fiery. So as he's sitting there looking at this damn thing, he starts to hear a voice in his head. And the damn thing was communicating with him telepathically, telling him like, yeah, I'm real. He was saying, I can't remember exactly what he was saying to my uncle, but he affirmed to him that he was real. Like, yeah, you're actually seeing me. And my uncle, unlike my mother, my uncle could move, right? And he's like scared to death. He's telling my mom like, hey, come on, let's go. Come on. And she's just stuck right there, right? So my uncle's panicking. He don't know what to do. The damn thing. Because from what my uncle told me is that this thing wanted to take my mother with him, right? So my uncle's like trying to shake her, trying to get her to break out of this trance, and she's just not budging at all. But then my uncle, he decided to scream for help. And when he did that, my mom just broke out of trance. And when he looked up in the tree, the damn thing was gone. Crazy story, man. I honestly believe these things are real. I used to think they were fake. No, they're real. And this is why the government's trying to warm you up to these things. They're trying to make you think that these things are us and are our friends, and they are not. Don't fall for it, guys, because you're going to start to see a lot of shit in the media, them talking about these damn aliens. You're going to see more and more of it. I mean, they're already talking about it a lot. They've been ramping it up over the years because they're trying to gear you up to this idea. So I can't wait to see the disclosure date, to see what they're going to show in that movie, because best believe I'm going to make a video about it. If I have time, I'm going to make a video about it, so. Anyways, guys, that's all for today. So peace out. Shalom. May the Most High bless all those who do his will. Peace. Hey, I wanted to add this real quick before I went. So shout out to the brother in Yarka. He made a song, I want to say probably about a month ago, 2 months ago. He made a song talking about I think the title of the song is called Planet What the Fuck. Shout out to our brother in Yarka. He made that song gets pretty deep. It talks about all the stuff that these people are doing behind closed doors, all the wicked stuff that they're doing. And on the cover of his song, the cover art, it shows a reptilian, right? But also I wanted to add before I close this video was that check out the movies. I mean, these people are telling you, like I said, predictive programming, where these people are telling you what they plan on doing. Honestly, I believe there's going to be a soft rollout when it comes to these aliens. Where, like I said before, I believe that we're going to find out that our politicians were these hidden aliens, these crypto aliens, right? We're going to find out that they're going to use these excuses saying like, we were your doctors. Check out this episode of Outer Limits. I loved horror anthologies and just anthologies in general growing up. My dad was a very big fan of Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side, Monsters, Outer Limits, the old one, the black and white one, and the newer ones, the one in the 90s, early 2000s, and then the much newer one, Twilight Zone, the old and new ones, the old one and the somewhat newer ones, Black Mirror, all of those horror anthologies. Like, I love that stuff growing up because my dad, we would always watch them. But Outer Limits, the ones specifically from the 90s, there's this episode called Corner of the Eye, or From the Corner of the Eye. You can actually watch it for free on YouTube. Go and check that out, because they're telling you in that movie. I mean, they're telling you that episode is probably about like 45 minutes long. But good stuff, because essentially in that episode of the Outer Limits, there is, the scene opens up at a homeless encampment, right? And I believe this is supposed to be based out in Vancouver or Seattle, one of those places. And essentially at the homeless encampment, they're being raided by the police. The police are coming in, breaking up the camp, beating people over the head with billy clubs, all that stuff, right? And there was a pastor who was there, they were in a Catholic church, so I want to say he was a father, right? And he had a young priest under him. They were at this camp, and the father, when he was there, I guess that he was either giving food out to the homeless people, or he was like, preaching or praying with them. I can't remember, but they were being raided by the police, and the police are destroying and beating up people, like I said. And the father, he gets pushed over or knocked in the head with a billy club by the police officer. And when he falls on the ground, he looks up at the police officer, and the police officer face changes from a human face to an alien face. And when that happens, the scene cuts over to a homeless guy who notices the same thing, and he runs off, right? So towards the beginning of the episode, of course, the father guy is kind of disturbed, and he's like, man, I got hit in the head. I kind of got like this deal going on. He went to go and see a doctor. He couldn't see his old doctor. They gave him a new doctor. So he's like, I got this going on, there's pain, so on and so forth. And when the doctor looks at him, he finds out that the pain that he has in his head is actually from a tumor, right? So essentially, later on, the pastor happens to go back to that homeless encampment, and all the people have abandoned it. So as he's sitting there with the young pastor, they're talking, one of the homeless guy who actually, they put the scene on, after the father got knocked over and hit in the head and fell over, right? He comes out of nowhere and he said, "You've seen it too, right?" And of course the father, he's acting like he don't know what he's talking about, so on and so forth. He's like, yeah, these things are real. He essentially was trying to warn him that these things are real. So anyways, later on, the father, he visits the doctor again, and the doctor says, you got brain cancer, but I have a solution for you, right? So he's like, the father, he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do whatever, right? So he ends up going. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But turns out that this doctor was an alien the entire time, right? The doctor explains to him that they're from a planet that needs help, and that, they're here, they're benevolent, they're here to help people, right? They're not bad guys, even though they look like monsters, look like literal demons. They're not demons. They're actually here to help rather than to hurt, right? And then you find out essentially that there has been aliens living amongst people the entire time. Now I'm gonna let you watch the rest of the episode, because it's actually pretty good. It's actually really good. But yeah, that's them warming us up to it. Same thing with the iconic cult classic They Live. I love that movie growing up. That was one of my dad's favorite movies. That was actually one of our favorite movies growing up as kids, because we loved the scene where he went through and just start destroying the aliens. I think it was the bank scene is where it started off at, right? Because he puts on the glasses, he's walking around town, he's seeing all these hidden subliminal messaging that you can only see with these glasses that you can't see with the naked eye, right? So he's walking through town, and then he causes a disturbance in the store. And after that, he flees into the alley. He ends up shooting these cops that are really aliens, right? Because he's going through town and actually seeing that some of these people aren't people, that they're actually aliens. And then he goes into the bank, and that's where he unleashes chaos. He's like, look, I came here to chew gum. And this is where that iconic line comes from. I came here to chew gum in what is it? I came here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum, right? Classic line. So then he just starts massacring these aliens, right? Another good movie. If you have not seen that movie, They Live, check it out, because it's telling you all about the New World Order, and possibly it was a movie letting you know that these things have been amongst us this entire time, right? Sorry for the sniffles. Like I said, I got a cold. And what else? What other movie is it out there? There's another movie. Oh yeah, well, I told y'all, I think I mentioned Alien Nation. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but check out Alien Nation. It's a series from the 90s where essentially, I may have mentioned this in a video earlier, I'm not sure, but check it out because it's a series that came out in the 90s. It may have been on cable television back then. I'm not sure if it was on like regular TV, but essentially it was a show about aliens that were coming to Earth seeking refuge, right? I was gonna show you guys a trailer of some of these things, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. I can just describe it rather than showing you guys the trailer. Go and check it out, man. This is these things, these shows, they're not making these shows and these movies for any reason. They're not just simply making it for entertainment purposes. Like, we think that that's what they're doing because most people consume this stuff for entertainment purposes only. They don't like to look at the subliminal messaging that's going on, the esoteric, messaging that's going on in these movies, because they're telling you a lot. They're giving out a lot of dog whistles to people who are paying attention and who are in the know, right? But yeah, I believe that this is their plan. They're trying to warm us up to this idea, because I honestly believe that soon they're going to slowly start rolling out things. Like, who knows, we may end up finding out that Trump and Putin are these damn aliens. They've been these aliens this whole time. I mean, damn, they always depict Trump as that damn frog, right? Pepe the Frog, I think it is. Who knows, Trump. Like I said, these things are not from another planet. They've been here the entire time. And they have changed a lot of our history in order to hide these things, right? This is why when you go and look at these old world maps, you will see these odd and strange creatures depicted on these maps. You will see Cyclops, you will see people with eyes in their chest. You will see all these weird and odd creatures that we call myth, legend, and lore today, right? But these things were actually real. These reptilians, like I shared with the story of my mother, they seen this back in the 70s before there was even talk of reptilians, right? Well, there was probably talk of reptilians, but there was no media, right, that depicted reptilians. There were no television shows. V didn't exist at the time. A great series, by the way. Check out V. That's another one. Check out V. Unlike the other shows and movies I shared with you, in the series V, well, similar to Alien Nation, they came down on a ship and they introduced themselves that way rather than living amongst us this entire time, right? But yeah, it was way before V when my mom had this encounter. My mom and my uncle had this encounter, and I thought it was just a story that my grandmother made up and was telling us, but no, this shit actually happened. So yeah, these things have been amongst us this entire time. And honestly, you got to be careful with the people who you follow and you let put information in you, because a lot of these, if you do your research, a lot of these old school keepers like cats, from One West, a lot of them were actually Freemasons. A lot of them, damn near all of them, were Freemasons. And I think that they were trying to warm us up also to the idea that these objects that we see up in the sky are chariots and are angels, and that they are our friends, when in actuality they're not. Yeah, there was a point in time where I went from believing aliens were real to, once when I really got heavy into the whole Hebrew Israelite thing, I was like, okay, they're not aliens, they're chariots. They're chariots. They're our friends. They're our brothers, you know? And now I got to the point to where I'm like, okay, they have been lying. Everything is a hijack. All these things are different hijacks. A lot of these people are Freemasons or part of Freemasonic organizations or origins. A lot of them have Freemasonic origins. And I started doing the digging myself and following people who really put in the work, you know, researching these things and, you know, just using common sense, wisdom, and coming to these conclusions, you know. And honestly, I don't believe that these are good things at all. I don't believe that these things that we see in the sky are good guys. The whole UFO phenomenon really didn't start until the 1960s. There was this scientist, I cannot remember his name to save my life right now, but he was a part of the Jet Propulsion Labs, JPL. He started JPL. He also founded NASA. I can't remember his name, but if you guys remember his name, you can drop it in the comment below. Him, his wife, and his friend, who also co-founded JPL, and I think also NASA, back in the 1960s and 70s, I think it was like the late 60s, early 70s, they would do these giant seances. And whenever they would do these seances, they would open up portals, and out of these portals would come what we would call UFOs, right? And that was like the biggest era of UFOs. Like, yeah, sure, we're seeing a lot of them right now too, but back in the 1970s, people were seeing UFOs everywhere. People were having UFO encounters everywhere. A lot of people were back in the 1970s were having these alien abductions, these missing time experiences where they would literally see the UFO in the sky and it'd be like 6 p.m. or let's just say 8 p.m. because usually it's dark, right? 8 p.m. and then next thing you know, it's 11 p.m. and they're like, what the fuck? I just literally just looked up at the sky. I looked at the clock, looked up at the sky, looked back down at the clock, and it's like 3 hours later, right? And then later on, they would have these dreams of being abducted by aliens and so on and so forth. And these alien creatures that people are seeing, I believe, are actual evil entities, right? I believe that they're evil entities. When you actually look at the description of the alien, it's the same thing that people describe as seeing when they are being possessed by demons. When they get demon possessed, it's the same. They describe the same looking thing: big head, big eyes, so on and so forth. And I should have pulled up the picture and show you guys this picture. And you know, I just may do that real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here is the entity right here, right? This is what I'm talking about. So literally when people are demon possessed and they describe what they're seeing after the experience, after the possession, this is what they describe. They describe the same thing as seeing a alien, what a lot of people would consider an alien or a gray alien. Now, Aleister Crowley, back in the early 1900s, this guy was like one of the biggest witches out there, and he warlocks, witches, wizards, whatever the hell you want to call him. He actually learned his art from his demonic art, shall I say, from this woman that preceded him. It was his teacher, and then he taught many other people after him, right? But he used to do seances all the time. He used to, you know, summon demons and so on and so forth. And one of the more famous demons that he summoned, or I'm gonna just say entities, because I'm not really sure if it's a demon, was this one called Lamb, right? And that is this entity right here. Look at that damn thing. You can't tell me that that does not look like how they describe an alien. Damn thing has a big head, pale skin. You know, the eyes aren't super big, but what does this lamb thing look like? Did it not look like the video that I showed you guys earlier where the woman was talking about, you know, what was it? But the P47s, the P52s, or whatever the hell, I can't remember what letter she used, but it's like, they look just like those damn creatures, right? That she was showing us, that she was trying to tell us that it was humans from the future. Looks just like that damn thing, that lamb entity, right? I'm sure there's a whole bunch of them, right? And it's so funny because the way a lamb was described is as a very non-emotional, mechanical, robot-like entity. It had no feelings at all. And essentially what it was telling Aleister Crowley was like the future. It was telling him the future, so on and so forth. And he just had no emotion at all when it was talking about like sacrificing and killing and all this stuff. It was expressionless. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to add like extra syllables at the end of that, but yeah, it had no expression at all, right? It was just like a damn robot. And that's how a lot of people describe aliens when they get abducted. You know, there's no expression in the face, nothing like that. So like I said, you know, I don't believe that these things that we see, because, and you know, I know my brews are gonna be mad at me, but like, man, nah, those are our brothers, those are chariots, something ain't really these little ETs. Do your research on the Jet Propulsion Labs and the creator of that. I'm actually gonna pull his name up real quick. Let me try to find his name. Okay, so let me pull this up real quick. Let me switch real quick. So yeah, Jack Parsons. That is the name of the guy who created JPL, Jet Propulsion Labs. He also was one of the founders of NASA. So yeah, let's check this out real quick. Let me see if I can open it up. Probably hear my son in the background, but yeah, this is the guy right here, Jack Parsons, as you guys can see. Yeah, look at this guy. He was one of Aleister Crowley's, however his name is pronounced. He was one of his disciples. I forget the name of Aleister Crowley's, but there's a lot of videos on it. Check out this brother named Black Balloons. He actually did a few videos, several videos on Jack Parsons and Aleister Crowley. So these things, and look, it says the saucer is not a ship, it's a summoning circle. Man, I'm telling you, a lot of NASA is tied to these UFOs. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is, I know in the camps, they tell you that these are chariots. I don't believe that these are the chariots that the Bible speaks of. Because we didn't start seeing these. I'm sure that they exist before, back when magic was very readily available, back before it was like kind of like hidden by the Catholic Church. I'm sure that they were, you know, they existed in the past, but for a long stint, I'm gonna probably say for at least like 100 to maybe even 200 years, these things weren't out and about until the 1970s. That's when we had this huge, you know, I would say like phenomenon of UFO sightings in the 1970s, and it was because of this guy right here. They would have summoning parties where they would literally summon these damn things out of portals, and then after they would summon these things, people will start seeing them all over the country, especially out in the Southwest, because this is where they were having a lot of these parties at, and they were summoning a lot of these entities out there, right? So that's where you get Roswell, you get a lot of these sightings that happen in Arizona, you know, Nevada back in the day. But people were seeing them all over the country, right? Right after these people would summon these things. We didn't know that they were summoning these things. We were just thinking like, oh my God, what are these lights in the sky? What are these weird objects that we see flying up in the sky? Then people start having, you know, these abductee stories, you know, them being abducted and all this stuff. Like, guys, these are not chariots, man. These are not our brothers. These are not angels up there. Because I used to look at it like that. Me and my wife, we used to look at it like that. And then I want to say the year of the eclipse, which what was that? 2024. I started looking at it, everything differently. I started looking at it, I'm like, man, those ain't good guys up there. Because we would see them. Me and my wife, we would, I want to say since like 20, maybe like 2020. Because that's when we had a lot of time. Of course, nobody was really working at the time, so we had a lot of time to really dive into stuff. And I had bought my wife this for her birthday one year. I want to say like maybe like 2018, 2019. I had bought her this very expensive telescope. It was like $1,000, right? It was a Dobsonian Refractor 12. It's cheaper now. I think it's like $600, $700 now, but it was $1,000 when I bought that thing. And one evening we were out looking up in the sky through her telescope, and I seen a bunch of little lights going across, right? And upon further research, I found out that they are masquerading these things as being Elon's what do you call those things? Something like Starlink. They're supposed to be Starlink, but I'm like, wait, when I'm looking through this very expensive, high definition telescope, I didn't see any, like, literally we could see planes. We could even see like details of planes when they're, if you're focusing on good enough, right? If you could keep up with the planes too, because they move pretty quick, you could actually see the detail on planes with this telescope. Yet when I zoomed in to these things, because allegedly these Starlink things are like low orbiting, yet they were nothing but pure light. See, when you see planes off in the distance, whether they're like, a few thousand feet off the ground, or if they're like several thousand feet off the ground, they're high altitude. When you zoom in, because from a distance, from our naked eye, they look like a ball of light. But when you zoom in, that ball of light gets smaller and you can actually see the plane, or at least a silhouette of a plane. However, with these balls of light, they're supposed to be like low orbiting satellite, drones, whatever the hell they're supposed to be. When you zoom in on them, they're nothing but pure light. Pure light. You don't see anything else but light. And then some of them were disappearing, fading in and out. I'm like, no way in hell. When I went and looked up this phenomenon and people were saying that they were, Starlink, I was like, no way. You mean tell me that Elon has technology to where he can make these things disappear? Because I will see them disappear, fade in and out. And it's funny because we would see these things before, but we never saw them in mass. Like literally, it was like hundreds of these things going across the sky at night. So that's when we first became aware of those things. We've seen them several times over the years, right? But they all go on a line. They go on a line. It's not really a straight line, but sometimes they go off in different directions, but they usually mostly all go in the same direction. And then we will see the orbs too, which were essentially the same thing. They're just not in mass numbers. You would see them go across the sky. They would sometimes they would zip off real quick. Sometimes they just disappear. Sometimes they turn real bright and then they're gone, just like that, right? So these are not chariots, but we used to look at them as if they were chariots. We thought they were good guys, but now understanding the origin of recent UFO sightings, I don't believe that anymore. There's no doubt in my mind that these are not good things, especially since they're associated with the DS, with the deep state, right? Because we know nothing that's connected to the deep state, anything that's connected to the deep state is not good at all. So yeah, these are not chariots. I'm sorry, Bruce. I know we've been taught by these Freemasons that we call our elders and camp leaders, but those are not our friends. They are not our friends. I'm telling you, people, do your research. I don't mean to sound like an asshole or anything like that, but do your research. Because like scripture says, every man shall work out his own salvation. Nobody else can get that salvation for you. Like scripture says too, damn, I just lost the script that quick, but study to show thyself approved before God and men, right? So we need to be doing our own study and our own investigation. Like, sure, it's cool to sit back and listen to people, who's sharing information, but make sure you double back and do your own research behind them to make sure that they're accurate. Like I say with my videos, I said a lot of my videos, I don't really say too much anymore, but everything I'm talking about, go and do your own research. Go and do your own research and come to your own conclusion. If you do enough research, you'll more than likely come to the same conclusion as I do and many other people who are saying things that are not generally accepted, right? Like when I talk about multiple gods, I know people turn their nose up at that, but I'm telling you guys, I don't swear I'll do any of that, so let me just stop. But I'm telling you guys, do your research. There are many gods, and I don't mean like there is the Most High, but the Most High is not who y'all think he is. And I don't mean that in a bad way. He's not a bad guy, not at all. He's a good guy, but he's not who y'all think he is. Like y'all think that when the Bible says God, Lord God, Sabaoth, what are other titles? Lord. There's so many different titles that they use for God in there, but what the Catholic Church and the hijackers, the ones who have taken our literature, our books, our history, and rewritten them, what they did is that they, merged all these different entities into one God, right? But anyways, that's not what this video is about. But yeah, yeah, you guys, y'all need to just do the research. Just do your own research is what I'm saying. But yeah, anyways, back to this JPL. Okay, so anyways, I'm back. I'm not gonna read this article just because it's a whole lot. But it goes through the history of Jack Parsons. It talks about how he died in a mysterious house explosion, I guess trying to make like rocket fuel or whatever. But also talks about the cult. It talks about his master, Aleister Crowley, so on and so forth. It really goes into the history of that. But this video has been long enough, so I'm not going to go into full, detail of that. So anyways, here's another page I found talking about him. And this is like a depiction of him in his little demonic parties, so on and so forth. Sorry about that. My son's back here. I'm about to sneeze real quick. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Here's another picture of that. Creepy as hell. They called themselves the sons and daughters of something. What's up, buddy? Sure, yeah. If the clouds are out, if it's clear, see, look. What do you want to look at this? Come right here, buddy. Come right here. What do we use to look at the stars?
Telescope.
Yeah. Is our telescope small or is it big?
The telescope is big.
Yeah, it's a big telescope. It's real big. It's like this tall, isn't it?
Yeah. It's for to look at the stars and make marshmallows. I love
Yeah. Yeah, you ate them all. Okay, go upstairs, buddy. I'll be up there in a little bit, okay? See, he want to go and look at the stars. Ain't that ironic? We was just talking about it. He's upstairs watching, cartoons, and he just happens to come down here and talk about stars and telescope, which is what I was just talking about. So, anyways, get back to what I was saying. This is a depiction of this dude, and they used to have like these, like I said, summoning parties, and they called themselves the sons of something, the sons and daughters or something. I can't remember the name of their cult, but yeah, I mean, just creepy, man. Very creepy. And this dude was very proud of being a Freemason. But like I said, check out Black Balloons. He has a lot of good videos talking about this guy. There's also this podcast that you can check out right here that gets into the like it says right here, the Macombre, I think that's what it's pronounced, Macombre or Macombre. Jack Parsons, NASA's rocket scientist who summoned demons, right? Check out this podcast. You can find it on Spotify. But yeah, man, it's I'm telling you guys, like, these are not our friends. These are not our big brothers up there in the clouds and the chariots. This is not what we read in the book of Exodus. Man, I mean, hell. I would even drop some more information, but I'm not right now. This is not the video for this. When it comes to talking about like other theories and other things I've learned. But yeah, y'all, this ain't it. That ain't it right there. That ain't it. Those are entities. Those are evil entities. That's not us in the future. That is not us in the future, not at all. These are not chariots with our brother angels hanging out in it. It's not Michael. It's not any of them hanging out in those damn things, man. Not at all. If you read these other books, I'm talking about like books outside the Bible, like the Nag Hammadi, the books of the Nag Hammadi, you will find out that what we call angels, they don't sit and fly around in the sky. They're usually hanging out with God. I'm just going to use a very generic term. I'm going to say God for people who don't understand. They're usually up there, and then they're sent to to send messages, because that's literally what angel means. It means messenger. And not everything that has been called an angel is an angel, right? That's a very generic term, because as we see, we have seraphim, we have cherubim, we have all these different type of spiritual beings that we call angels, and that's a very generic term. But yeah, we've been lied to, and they're still trying to trick us. And I'm telling you, man, just the way things are going, I also want to add this on to this video is prepare. Don't stop prepping. Please don't. Because it looks like COVID 2.0 is about to kick off. I'm hoping that I'm able to get this cruise in before they roll out COVID 2.0. I'm really hoping so, because last time when they had, I mean, this is literally the same blueprint with COVID. We had a cruise lined up and we didn't get to go on that cruise because of COVID, right? We got another cruise planned coming up, and we're just hoping that, you know, this whole hantavirus does not shut down the entire world like it did before. My son, he would, like, my wife and I are one of our favorite ways of vacationing and traveling is through cruise ships. I think you get the best of both worlds, right? The best of many worlds through cruising. That's our favorite way of vacationing. And last year we took our son cruising and he loved it. He absolutely loved it. Our daughter, we're not going to take her with us this time just because she's just too young. But we're hoping that we can, you know, get him on another cruise ship, even if this is the last one. So yeah, hold up. Somebody just messaged me. I think my wife messaged me. But yeah, I'm just hoping that we can get on this last, if this is going to be our last cruise, I'll be completely fine, because I want to give my son the same memories that we gave him last year. You know, last time we went cruising, he loved it. He absolutely loved it. He was so much smaller than it too. We went to several different places. It was I think like an 8-day cruise. I think it was 8 days. This one is a 7-day cruise. We went to, what was our first stop? It was down to ABC Island. So we went to I think Bonaire first, and then we went to Aruba. We didn't get to go to Curacao, which I'm fine with. Those, I you know, people talk about Aruba like it's this amazing place, and really Aruba, I thought Aruba was like this tropical island, but no, Aruba, the ABC Islands, they're literally desert islands. Like, I don't mean deserted islands, right? They are desert islands. Like, literally, they're deserts. They're actual deserts. Got sand and all that stuff. Dry as hell, cactus growing everywhere. It's not tropical, and it's flat as hell too. I would imagine that if a tsunami came through, it would wipe out that entire island. They got like a bunch of like little small mountains, like little singular little mountains, you know, in the backdrop, but it ain't enough to save a whole population of people. But then after that, we went to the Dominican Republic. We went to La Romana, and then we went to La Romana, and then the other place was, it had an American name, but it was Puerto Plata, right? And we love Puerto Plata. That was our favorite destination. We went on this, it was like a little tour. Excuse me. They took us through the city, on the tour bus, and our guy was saying, man, if y'all know who he is, man, y'all some G's, man. That guy, he was cool. I loved him. And we're going back. We're actually going back to Puerto Plata, and we're hoping that we can sign up with him again, because he wasn't. We really didn't plan any excursions on this cruise, so we kind of was like winging it. And since the day before we didn't go on an excursion, we was like, okay, let's just find something at port. And I think it was my older brother. I'm not sure. I think it was my older brother. It could have been my wife, but I think it may have been my older brother who found that excursion. And we was like, okay, let's just do it. Let's do it. And we paid like, I think $20 per person. We went and we had a great time. We went down, what is that? The Pink Street. I think that's what's called. We went to a lot of different places out there, you know, walking around, took pictures and stuff. It was really nice. Then we got back on the bus. They took us to the beach. Oh yeah, they was teaching us about like the gemstones. They took us to the gem shop, like gemstones, right? And they took us back on the bus. They took us to a private beach. We went out there, swam, had a good time. Waves were coming in. My son was having a blast. We ate some Dominican food, fongo. We even ate like some nachos and stuff like that. I think it was like some type of nacho meal. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was delicious. But yeah, I'm hoping to do that again this year because we got a 7-day cruise that's going to Bahamas, in the Dominican Republic, and I think Grand Turks. Those are like the 3 places they're going to. And we want to take our son to Atlantis because me and my wife, we've been there before on a cruise, and we want to take our son to Atlantis and then back to the Dominican Republic and do the same tour again with Sandman. And my son, he had a blast. So we're hoping that society does not shut down anytime soon. It'd be a shame because I really want that for my son at least one more time before shit shut down, because I feel like when society shuts down this time, I think it's gonna be like even more chaotic, to where this is probably where they wanted to go. I think that's the direction they wanted to go, you know, so they can have order out of chaos. They're probably gonna allow chaos to happen for maybe a few years, to where people are killing each other off and they're in their bunkers living good for a few years, and they come back up and then they take command of society and rebuild it up. I doubt that that's what's gonna happen, but that's what they're planning, right? So that's why I say, look, y'all need to start stocking and getting ready, because I feel like COVID 2.0 is going to happen again, and a lot of people ain't gonna be ready. A lot of people aren't gonna be ready, you know. Excuse me, sorry about that. A lot of people just aren't gonna be ready. I was kind of hoping that with the whole food stamps things that happened several months ago, I was hoping that will wake people up. I was really hoping that will wake people up, especially people who have food stamps and stuff, because people are still getting cut off of food stamps even to this day. And I heard that they're making it very hard for people to requalify. Like, I guess they raised the bar to where a lot of people aren't qualifying for it anymore, which sucks. But the people who do still qualify, man, y'all better start stocking up canned goods, because I'm telling you, when shit hits the fan, you gonna wish you had those steaks and lobsters and all that stuff that y'all like buying with the food stamps. That shit ain't gonna last long. It's not. When that power goes out, that shit goes with it. It's gonna be a few days that's gonna be any good. And honestly, like, if you do have a bunch of meats and stuff stored in, like, say, like a deep freezer, a refrigerator, whatever, and you're not really a prepper, just remember this: if you hear that shit is going down and the power grids may go down soon, like say in different cities, it hasn't hit you yet, or even if it has hit you, if you know how to make a basic fire, don't matter what you make it out of. Well, you don't want to use like anything that could put contaminants in your food, but just make a fire and cook all of your meats. Cook them, or even cut them to very thinly sliced, you know, and then sun dry them, and you can make jerky out of it. You can do that with anything, like fish. You can do it with any meat. You know, you can cut it real thin. You can put it on the fire, let it smoke, let it dry out into jerky, or you can sun dry it, do it in any way to preserve that meat to make it stretch longer. So you won't be shit out of luck if you don't have canned goods. So, but anyways, my family's waiting on me, so I'm about to get up here. So anyways, peace out, shalom, and may the Most High bless all of those who do his will. Peace, shalom.